Hello everyone, great to see you again. Sorry there's this barrier between us. If you just get a little bit closer, come in, that would be really good. My name is James Sell. This is the third and I think the final pre-instalment leading up to the English Canto's 10-day fest that we have planned from Wednesday the 10th of June at 4 o'clock every day till the 21st, and I shall be reading live from my canto sequence, Hell Ward, and there will be across that period of time a whole lot of other interesting things being released: artwork, interview material, other poets, games, a whole range of stuff. So we'll hope you'll want to tune in for this, and we're just using this as a practice run for that event on the 10th of June, 4 o'clock. Hopefully you'll join us live. We will be recording it so you can follow us anyway. So today, as you know, I've been reading 3 poems from the collections of poems that have led up to this English canto sequence, the last of which, the Divine Comedies, was very overtly influenced by Dante, this great hero of mine who wrote the Divine Comedies. And you may notice today I'm wearing a t-shirt with a Dante Doré piece of artwork on it, which my son gave me, which is absolutely fabulous. It wouldn't be right for me not to try to murder a little bit of Italian before I started on my own material, so I've been reading one stanza from the Canto 1 from Dante each time I do this. So we've really reached only the 3rd stanza. So I'm going to be 85, 86, 87 years old by the time I finish the whole of this book, but I think the 3rd stanza is worth reading to you. So, Dante, Canto 1, stanza 3. Tante amara che poco e più morte, ma per trattare del ben ch'io vi trovai, dirò dell'altre cose che vo scorte. It is so bitter that death is little less so. But to discourse on the benefits I found there, I shall speak of the other things I perceived in it. The benefits he found there. The benefits he found where exactly? The benefits he found in going to hell. Of course, that is exactly what I found in nearly dying 9 years ago of cancer in a hospital ward. It triggered a whole raft of poetic ideas for me, and last week I read you some from my Inside the Whale collection, which was a metaphor for being in hospital for 3 months recovering from the cancer I had. So today I'm going to go to the sort of middle collection that sort of like is like a pillar that spans the time between then and now. But before I do that, so I'm going to read you 2 very upbeat poems from The Liar Speaks True, but I'm just going to return to the last collection, the Divine Comedies, of poetry inspired by Dante. And you may remember in my first reading to you, I talked about the Ariana Grande concert and the poem I had written about the terrible circumstances in that terrorist attack in Manchester. In fact, in Divine Comedies there are 2 poems based on that, and the second one is called Inside the Flame of Manchester, and it's prefaced by an epigraph from Dante himself, Canto 27, when he encounters Guido da Monferrato, and it says that as he sort of seeks to speak to him, he describes the flame that represents the soul of Guido, and it says, so lacking any outlet to escape from the burning soul that was inside the flame, the suffering words became the fire's language. The suffering words became the fire's language. And that is such an awful image, as if the language itself is contained in fire, flames of fire. Suffering that's there. And I wondered in my mind's eye how and where that person who committed the atrocity at the concert in Manchester was, and if hell was really real. So here's the poem Inside the Flame of Manchester. How come to this? One's being, now aflame, no eye to see or even mind discern what only sound communicates. Poor name. Is that you? And do you, in restless turns, leap upward, lapsing back, stretched to a strain of nothingness almost, at last, lacking harm? What did you do? And what has proved your gain? Your voice I hear, its witness I can't spurn. Above all you want to, but who else blame? How fire consumes what still you cannot learn. Oh, lost soul, trawling ashes of past shame, this is it. Though empty, you still burn. Pretty horrifying stuff actually, isn't it? Of course, when we come to my cantos on hell, there's a lot more of it. But as Dante said, you have to go down, really, in order to go up. And so, within The Liar Speaks True, there are in fact some, what I would describe as, very upbeat poems. And here is one of them. It's one I love to read. In fact, I read it at the Princeton Club last year in Manhattan for the Society of Classical Poets. And it's called The Circumpolar Stars. And unless you don't know what they are, but the circumpolar stars are the fixed stars in the heavens in the north. And the ancient Egyptians thought that when the soul of the pharaoh died, it would go up to become a fixed star and there to eternally shine. It's a wonderful image that the soul goes up and becomes a star in the heavens and shines there forever. So this is about those circumpolar stars. I imagined that my wife and I on death would be two of these stars rotating around each other. The circumpolar stars. They talked about them long ago. I mean, 4,000 years at least. Egyptians whom we do not know about the stars that ever last. And they imagine then they'd go to that bright place beyond their death, forever there to shine and glow, exempt from flickering and brief. So darling, my true lover, know, two binary stars out of this world are orbits where we have to go to see unflinching love revealed. And finally for today, since the sun is shining here in England, certainly down here in Dorset, beautiful, the temperature's going up, our garden is going riot with plants and flowers and all sorts of lovely things are humming away. So here's a short poem called 3 Smells I Love. And you might like to ask yourself, what are your 3 favourite smells? Answers on a postcard, or maybe better still, answers on Facebook. What are your 3 favourite smells? 3 smells I love. Honeysuckle, purity, as deep as any well, as clear as any glass, as strong as any spell. Lavender, healing, profound as any herb, open as any pass, active as any verb. Buddleia, beauty, gorgeous as any sex, unstoppable as any grass, beguiling as butterflies connect. Thank you for listening to me. Hope you enjoyed it. Do share with your friends and see you soon at the Cantos on the 10th of June. Thank you.